Man, was this ever an emotional week. We had a champion go down. We had a Monday night miracle. And overall, no one scored many points. But let's recap the week, starting by the two teams that really did score some points, G versus Kevin. Now, this was the matchup of the week, the one that we were all looking forward to, and they did not disappoint. G got edged out by Kevin by 6 points. And Kevin, you scored the second most points of the week. G, the only thing you can take solace in is you scored the third most points of the week. You have the most points in the league by a good amount. And the only two teams that would have beat you were Kevin and your future husband. Moving over to your future husband's game, he demolished Mac by scoring the league high 183 points. This was mostly held on by Gabe Davis as he had 3 catches for 2 touchdowns and like 180-something yards. Just completely ridiculous Randy Moss numbers. But Tyler was wise enough to start him, and, it paid off majorly for him. With that said, Mac, I wouldn't take things too hard as you have the most points scored against you by a country mile. It's like 855 points against you versus the next person, who is Kevin, who has 790 against him, which means about, on average, there's been 10 more points scored against you on a weekly basis, Mac. That is the Tough Tomatoes / Get Fucked Idiot Award for you. Moving over to the other side, the least points scored against them, we have Will, who finally took his first loss against Todd. Todd scored more than 140 points against Will, which has not happened all season, and Will could not overcome that as he scored exactly 139. So 140 is the key number against Will. And with that said, Will does have the third most points in the league behind myself and behind G. It is a very admirable opponent, but once again, the 140 mark is the one to get at. Moving on to our Monday miracle, Quack, your insults did not work as it only enticed Mahomes and Kelsey to go batshit crazy on Monday night. I needed 60 points, and together they got 61 and said, "Fuck you, Quack, we're going to take the W." They hated both your team names, and we can see that you have already changed it, so do not mess with the Hans dynasty. That was a miracle if I've ever saw one, and I will never see it again. But moving on over to Gary's matchup, who Gary played against Parker. Gary, it seems that you finally realized that you picked the previous Seahawks quarterback and you wanted the current Seahawks quarterback, as you have now dropped Russell Wilson, changed your team name to the proper Geno Smith, who is actually a good quarterback, and, Russell Wilson just sucks, period. Football player, I don't like the guy. Hopefully we don't have to see him on primetime for the Broncos game, but quite frankly, I think they're on primetime next week or the week after. So whoever did scheduling just absolutely hates either Amazon or America. I don't really know which. And then we have our unfortunate Tough Tomatoes matchup. Matt, really thought you had it this week after Denver dropped 34 points for you on Monday night. Wasn't in the cards for you, my friend. Unfortunately, it looks like Jacoby Myers is your undoing again, as if you would have started him, you would have won. I'm pretty sure if I did my math correctly, you could have started him in place of just about any one of your wide receivers except for Orlov, and you would have beat Mr. Prego and Mr. Duffy. However, with that said, Prego did put up a good fight against you as he scored 149 points this week, mostly held on by Cooper Kupp, who is once again proving to be a freak wide receiver. Now let's look forward to this week. The best week in football. It is rivalry week and the first week of bye weeks. Teams will be screwed. Friendships will be lost. But most importantly, we will see a house divided. We have G versus her future husband Ty in a battle of who gets to keep Storm, as I'm sure this one will get down and dirty. The good news is my money's on G because her team is much, much better than Tyler's so far. Tyler did have one good week last week, but G has been consistent. Let's see if G's able to keep it up. And with that said, we'll see who wears the pants in that relationship. Moving on down, we have the best matchup of the week, which is our 1 versus 2. This is the battle for sole possession of first place, as they will be the only team with 1 loss in this league. Kevin has been coming off some couple of hot streak games, as his only loss was week 1 against yours truly. However, Billy has proven time and time again he gets knocked down, but he'll get up again, especially when he's drunk, and nobody knows how. Moving on down, we have Parker versus Flynn. Flynn, you got to get your first win, man. I'm going to throw a party for you. Sorry, Parker, I'm cheering for Flynn in this one just because, well, you can't have the Detroit Lions in this league. He might get relegated down to, I don't know, flag football, or he might have to just bet on college games. I don't know. Regardless, Flynn, you got to get a victory. I believe in you. Parker, I'm sorry, but, Flynn, you got to get a victory some way, somehow. Moving on down, we have Quack going against Prego and Duffy. Oh, with that said, Quack, you changed your name again to Former Roommate War. Let's see if your mental warfare will finally pay off, as Matthew Berry's Minions has been holding strong all season long. Then we have myself versus Mac. It is the battle of whose bye week will hurt them more, as we both are, stacked with Lions players, which is terrible in and of itself. But we'll see which Lions players were more effective and which ones will be screwed. Now, Mac's team is injured. However, it looks like this week they will be coming back. I'm seeing a lot of questionables, not a lot of outs. We'll see what happens, as I have nothing but faith in Mac's team. Moving on down, we have the new Let's Ride Gino versus DX, or Todd, if you will. This is going to be a great matchup, as both of them are the captains of the softball team. I think the loser gets relegated to the bench, and the winner gets sole possession of the team. Let's see some real anarchy here, and who will win. Todd, your keys to success is if Justin Jefferson will drop 40 points or if he'll drop 4 points, as he has proven there is no in-between. And I think that brings us through all of the matchups for this week. Guys, it is a hell of a week to have a good week. Put your best foot forward, beat your rival. Let's get her done.